Hari Om. The Bhagavad Gita Conceals. The Bhakti Yoga. So this is the yoga of devotion. According to Swami Vivekananda, the path of devotion is natural and pleasant. It is natural. It is pleasant. So very sweet. And this yoga, it tells us that one must be devoted to God. One must keep trust in God. And a pure devotee trusts God than himself. The lotus knows not its sweet, but the bees that suck the honey. The Lord knows not his charm, but the bhaktas feel it full of love. So here, really, if this devotion, if it is to be natural, I think it should be practiced right from the childhood itself. Then only it will naturally spring from the hearts and run all the time. World round God. I think world round God is the appropriate word. So as I said, a true devotee will believe God than himself, and he always trusts that everything happens on the will of God, and not that when we think something it happens, but when God thinks at the same time when we think, and he showers his grace, it happens. Now the trust that the devotees have on God, it has been proved a number of times. For example, in the during the Ramayana time, when Lakshmana Swami fell down unconscious, so Hanuman, he wanted to test the devotion of Sumitra Devi. So he went to her and told that her son fell down. Unconscious, he said very slowly, which was heard only by himself. Immediately Sumitra Devi, she told that. Only one single sentence she said. Roma Romancha Rama Namancha. So I don't, my son's each and every hair on his body always says Rama, Rama, Rama. So when that is the case, how can anything happen to my son? If anything happens, first it must strike Rama and then come. Strike my son. So nothing will happen to Rama. And so nothing happens to my son also. So he was really shocked to hear Sumitra Devi say like that. So that is the trust that devotees have. So here really the path of devotion will be very sweet, very soft, like nectar, very sweet like nectar to taste. Once the tongue tastes the sweetness of the devotion, no man feels like distracting from devotion. So devotion is another form of love towards God. So when we can say that respect is the highest form of love, so in the same way devotion also is the highest form of love, supreme form of love. Really, it is unparalleled to any other feeling, because it can be experienced by each and every cell in the body. So when one can experience that, then they feel so happy for the devotion they got, they cultivated towards God. And this is also not got in a day. It must be cultivated right from the early childhood. Otherwise it's not possible for anybody to get the devotion just then and there itself. And now here that there are so many other devotees who actually could not go to the temple, but made the God come for the sake of them leaving the temple. So there are so many instances when one more instance to say is, when Rama was thought of building a bridge to Lanka, he was throwing stones on in the sea, and all the stones they got deep. They were drowned they fell into the water and they went deep into the sea. At the same time, Hanuma, he was the other Vanara Sainyam, the army, because it was they built that bridge, Rama Setu, now it's called. So here when he was throwing the stones, they all lay in a line. So even Rama was astonished. Then he asked Hanuman, he called him aside and asked, how is it that the stones which you threw into the waters, they were floating and they made a line. They were aligned in a line. But when I threw them, they all drowned in the water. The answer which Hanuma gave was, on each and every stone, I was writing your name. So your name is so powerful. Since I am the devotee, I trust you more than myself. So this is one instance. So the path of devotion thus is really very pleasant. If really a person can build going to a temple is not wrong, they have to go. But if a person can build a temple for God in his own heart, he can make the heart a temple for Lord to dwell. It is wonderful. And he can experience that God always sits in his heart, in the temple. And he feels that all the time that God moves with him, along with him. And wherever he goes, God also moves with him. It is sublime, surrendering totally to the God, in word, thought and deed. So a devotee's actions are that means they lead their life with God in such ecstasy by sheer devotion, that they don't feel happiness in any other thing except the devotion that is shown to God.